Hello everyone, this is NDDC joining again for another React video this time for My Little Pony Season 9, episodes 14 and 15. This time brought to you by Skype because, like BronyCon, Hangouts on Air is no more.
R.I.P. Hangouts.
This is why we can't have nice things. Actually, I don't know why we can't have nice things, but apparently we just can't.
Oh, you haven't.
Well, if you can't have nice things, you gotta work for things.
Aw.
Yeah, because Google just loves dropping services. Which, by the way, let's all go and invest in. Let's go invest in Stadia.
No.
God, no.
What Stadia?
Google's game streaming service.
No.
You play a game like on a computer and like it'll stream you the video, and they have all the gaming rights on their side. So, if, say they decide to abandon Stadia in like 3 or 5 years, you lose everything.
Okay. Play your game and watch.
Maybe it'll be like YouTube Red.
Later.
Yeah.
They randomly get Cobra Kai as one of their shows, and they're big.
Ooh, that would I.
Cobra Kai is awesome.
Yes, get that.
Cobra Kai is funny, and it is awesome. It is all the.
We need Cobra Kai Con.
Cobra Kai Con. I like that.
Oh, we're getting sidetracked here.
Yes.
We are.
All right.
On track.
All right. I guess going first with introductions, and I go how they appear in this chat now, which is going to be different now, I think. Actually, no. I think it's alphabetical again. Never mind. No. All right. I'll go how it reads in my thing. Carlos.
Hey, this is Gunmetal Gator here, bringing you live here from the NYC, telling you all that Ponies is coming to an end, and we should definitely be sorrowful about that because, man, something that's generation defining as the 2010s is going to end as well, so the decade of the horse is ending. What is going to be the next decade's theme? I hope
apparently, Fat Albert, if you really are stealing his catchphrase like that.
I definitely hope that I'm just a chum who's able to walk amongst these rabble.
And eat straw. Wait, I did that wrong.
Yes.
Oh well.
All right. Next up, Herd of Bronies.
Hello, all you ponies. I'm a herd of bronies. Fun fact: if the episodes keep releasing around the same every Saturday from now, the finale will be around the 9-year anniversary of the first episode.
Aw,
wow,
that's sweet.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like 9 years and ends in 9 seasons.
Yeah, I remember the last time they did an episode on the anniversary of the first episode. It was the 5-year anniversary, in fact. I hated it!
Wow, you're so passionate.
Yes.
The reviewer side of him.
That had just the same amount of punch as when Starlight Glimmer yelled out, "Quiet!"
Yeah.
I was going for that SpongeBob ancient grandma's grandma. I remember when they invented chocolate. Sweet, sweet chocolate.
I always hated it.
Oh my gosh. Then I'd be like, "Grandma, what the hell?"
All right. Next up, Jenn.
Hello, everyone. This is Jenn. We are now this is now day 6 into post-BronyCon depression.
Oh God.
I know.
Oh God, the symptoms are.
This is like the night's watch of PonyCons. I feel like for this night and many nights to come.
I mean, luckily for you, you didn't develop the physical conditions of BronyCon depression, including post-con sickness.
Right. Oh, thank goodness I avoided the con crud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went through. I think through 2/3 a bottle of hand sanitizer.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I bet. And I think one of my roommates had a little bit of a sinus problem, and then it got worse once he got to the convention. Now, luckily, I got home by the time we get past it to anybody else. I was like, saved!
Next up, second Andy lover.
Second day, right?
Hey there, this is the second opinion, and, well, post-BronyCon would be hitting me harder, but I'm taking solace in the souvenir I got to bring home with me.
Second day. Oh my god, plushie. Right? Oh, what do you want?
Exactly, the plushie. There is nothing else with me right now that I am taking wonderful, wonderful solace in.
Oh my god.
Y'all are so cute. You give me cavities.
That's right.
My diabetes worse.
Yeah, that's right. Mr. Head every episode and be bitter is now Mr. Give You Cavities from Sweetness Guy. I'm Second Opinion.
Day lover.
And we are Second Day.
Mwah,
Mwah, mwah, mwah, mwah, mwah.
mwah.
Dawn of the second day.
Kids. I saw
Right.
a little
And
tail.
ponies and lollipops and educational flashcards and stuff.
Woo!
There's laughter and friendship and ponies and bread.
On body pillows. No, just kidding.
Oh gosh, I forgot to mention it. Yeah, Carlos. Yeah, there's an ongoing joke about the number of body pillows at BronyCon this year.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Take a drink every time you reach a
You
body
would be
pillow
dead.
section.
You would be
You
dead
will
if
die.
you did. Yeah, don't do
Okay.
that.
Okay, so basically you mean to tell me is like a post-con depression for a lot of other bronies involved around those dakimakuras having a business amongst the convention staff. I'm just like, wow, that's how sad bronies are? They can't even, like, find love in another person, so they resort to that?
Well, it's better than, like...
Oi, we judge you much.
I mean, for me, like, before I really knew about dakimakuras' actual purpose, I thought it was just like, ooh, big fancy pillow looks like an awesome cartoon graphic. I should totally buy one. And I
Yeah,
actually did.
and nowadays you
Actually,
can
if you
actually
buy a
be
Philly
married to
one, then I might judge you a bit.
No.
A lot bit.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like, even if it was like, no, I just bought this because it was like a pillowcase. But why did you buy a super long one? I thought maybe because that's the only
You were
one.
so innocent once, Gator.
Well, it's better that they do
An
it to
innocent little Gator.
Isn't it better that they do it to a pillow than a random...
Okay, I feel like we're heading in a direction right now.
We're not going into the deep dark
Uh,
territory.
I don't know. Is it better or worse that they pay a pillow instead of paying a person? You know what?
Yeah,
Now you
that's-
got me doing it.
that's
and I'm
correct.
going to.
So,
All right.
Clear.
I guess. All right. Is everyone ready for episode 14?
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I've been dreading this.
All right. Everyone, press play in 3.
Wait,
Two.
Wait.
Wait.
Let me say, a room full of dakimakurus is actually pretty harmless compared to one whole giant room of nothing but say if Derpy Boru blew up in one whole room.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay, as you can see, there are consequences to being a brony. It does leave subtle scars on your psyche.
Or a 50 Shades room. I would have a doggy market room more than that.
Actually, that's true.
You mean 50 Shades? You mean 50
Right,
Shades
one
of
of the most-
Day? That's what
One of the most widely read books in the world is legitimately worse than almost anything the bronies have ever come up with.
That's true.
I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I will say about 50 Shades of Grey, besides, well, I would say 2 good things about it. One, it gave us our,
Godfrey reading it.
Yeah, it gave us a Gilbert Godfrey read of it. And 2, it gave a lot of authors confidence that they can do something better and be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do something better, yes. I don't know about be successful because this world is weird.
Well, they can at least write something better.
Yeah, this world is weird
And
enough
here's another thing good about 50 Shades. You now have, ladies and gentlemen, we now have something probably even worse than Twilight.
That's true.
Yeah, well, if your inspiration was a Twilight fanfic, I feel like it was born to be.
Or better yet, there probably would have come a time where your mom actually wasn't in a bad mood because she finished reading a chapter.
Nah.
Yeah.
Alright.
But
Ready?
are we
We didn't
ready
get
for?
the live react off the ground, and we're behind, so we owe them this.
Okay,
Alright.
yes.
Is everyone ready for episode 14?
Let's
Yes.
do
Yep.
it.
Yes.
All right. Press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Ring the bell,
Dash.
dashing
The
with
Crystal
style.
Castle.
Pinkie Pie said to get here right away.
Who's not using their headphones?
It's about something.
Hmm.
Me, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, Jen,
It's
you're
hard
just
to hear
picking
it like
around.
that.
What did you tell us?
I was cheating a little bit. I was trying to see how long I could get without using my headphones.
Ooh.
Fair enough.
Ooh.
Cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
He's back.
Yes.
Weird
Weird Al.
Weird
Weird
Al.
Al.
Weird Al.
Hmm.
The cheese pie ship is back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I totally support that. Pinky and cheese. Oh yeah. Pinky cheese.
Pinkie cheese.
Although I would, but I saw a forum where someone actually tried to ship the actors, even though I'm pretty sure
No.
they're married. And
Weird Al is married, yes.
Yeah. That okay. The real life actors don't. Draw the line there. The characters, fine.
Reggie looked oddly too satisfied with that.
Okay, we're continuing on the Pinkie
Oh,
Pride
Pinkie Pie,
storyline.
jealous episode.
don't you
Oh my
already have
god.
it?
This actually
Don't
is
you already
brilliant.
have a purpose? You're Ponyville's premier party planner.
Sometimes that hole in the ground of what you call your calling is sometimes too small for your own good or not growing as much as you want to grow.
Aw.
Oh brother.
Uh,
Oh no,
Pinkie
Pinky's been
Pie.
poisoned.
Okay.
Nah,
made
she
of
can handle it.
insulation.
Nah,
Whatever happened to
she can
Big
handle it.
Okay, I will say, like, I don't know. Feels like Pinkie Pie and Cheese Sandwich episodes never get Pinkie having existential crises quite right. Like this one, I mean, it just, first 2 minutes, it's like, oh, by the way, I'm having self-doubts about whether I'm,
It seems.
I mean, granted, like, that's a very relatable one, but, I mean,
There's nothing
they kind of
like
just dumped
with-
it on us out of nowhere after 9 seasons.
Well,
Oh
like, I
my
still think
God.
it's natural for Pinkie to want more.
I want you
my
to tell
God.
it to me in a way that's
Oh.
well done.
This
Like,
feels a
that's
lot
my
like
price
the
for
Chocolate
laugh.
Factory.
Oh, that sounds depressing.
Oh dear.
Did Cheese Sandwich become the Joker?
He's the new Willy Wonka.
Oh my god.
Yes, that's what I just said. That's what I just said.
Alright, we wouldn't have had to
Oh,
get the whole thing
nice.
Yeah, now we know you're an imposter and we have to arrest you.
Uh,
Or a spy or something.
oh, red carpet.
What?
Pinkie Pie with the
Oh,
golden
wow.
cupcake ticket.
Fuck.
Wait. What?
Willy Wonka?
Well,
No, that's not him.
Oh no!
Oh, it's staring into my soul.
Oh my god, it's the mask! It's the mask! Why? Why would you do this?
Mr. Sandwich.
Oh look, it's a rain on your parade.
Oh man.
I'm getting Willy Wonka vibes from this place or something.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Help me
depressing.
just now. He
I
never
like
comes
really-
out the red carpet, and now, only now.
It's like the rock farm, but more industrial revolution. Nice. I wonder if they have Galorian Weezings in here.
It's not a rain cloud. He has a security mark.
No, it was like a rainy day. Like I said, like rain in your parade.
Oh,
Oh, wow, depressing.
wow.
Oh. Yes, yes. I fully agree with that idea, Pinkie.
Yes.
Classic.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's certainly an
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
Actual fart maker.
The embarrassing sound, the polite way to say fart joke.
Because apparently fart is an F word to avoid. Okay.
So they're getting free ideas from Pinkie.
Now,
Oh, that's funny.
I think maybe Cheese is under a contract that's stealing away his identity.
no.
Come with me and you'll be
In
in a world of inconsideration.
Yep.
Oh my god, Pinkie.
Now I will disagree though. Like that super slippery banana peel was actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, like the banana's
He's
already too
depressed.
awesome. Oh god. Oh my.
Oh,
Oh my god.
wow.
Those
Okay.
two.
Why is he wearing a turtleneck? Why does he have a ponytail? What's going on? Who am I anymore?
Pinkie, you have to make your. No. Aww.
That's classic too.
Oh my god, he's got the moves.
The
I think I know
technicalities of
why.
innovation and creation.
It's interesting. Oh,
It's like when editing becomes a particularly big part of video production.
I think, or the Beethoven. I don't know. Beethoven still liked his music. You just can hear it. So.
Oh, and
oh,
a rubber chicken tooth.
this is so sweet.
Oh my god.
I like the fake out gags in this episode. Or they said, stop bothering our children.
Joy Buzzer?
Oh, that's why he made a factory, to make fun toys.
Ah.
Oh,
I don't know what they're trying to do with sand work though, because it's like he's clearly a negative influence, but he seems to be wanting to do good.
Right.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like if they're smart, they'll make it like, okay, like, no, he didn't do it. He's just what comes with the territory. Like, she's let things that weren't what he liked about it in the first place take over, like become the focus.
Oh my god.
This is reminding me of that one Rarity episode with was it Sassy Saddles?
Oh yeah.
But
Da 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 da. Oh my god.
She's
This
just so
is like
cheery
this
about
is like
it. She
season
makes
1 Pinkie Pie again.
been there, done that stuff fun.
Oh, come on. That's funny. Oh, no, no, no.
He's a critic.
Oh.
Which, I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, oh wait, don't drift too far away from the plot there if it's just going to be building a long build to a reveal we already know. It's not my favorite way to tell a story.
Mm.
You're
Oh, you guys
trying.
can still hear me? Oh God. Are you guys still able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Oh, that looks. Oh.
That's
Ooh.
fresh for
Ooh.
the face. Oh my God. Oh. Oh.
Get out of the
I
factory.
really do like this subdue fondue of cheese right now. You should call him fondue sandwich now.
Profound, Pinkie. How do you
Science and
science
funny.
funny? How
Huh.
do you science funny?
So this is how Twilight wanted to measure her, right? Science and funny.
Yep. I bet that's what Twilight would have asked. Like, how do you science funny?
Reference.
Capitalism at its finest.
Oh, what are you doing? She's going to make it.
Oh God. And he's back in the weather factory getup.
This episode really likes those fake out gags.
Ooh.
Oh, clever.
I don't know if that's funny, but interesting.
So what's everyone at?
1247.
12:41.
8, 9, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54.
I'm at
48,
1255.
49.
Yeah,
7,
I was just
8.
checking.
Okay, well, I mean, if they're going to switch the moral from, like, don't let the technicals drown it out over to, no, you don't understand. It is not the science. It is something you just feel. Like, if they switch it over to that, it's going to go down a little on my card. And I know I sound like that blue pony, but,
You are a blue pony.
well, you got me.
He's like a more emotive mom. That's the thing about that guy. Fans.
What about a sonic rainbow? Like, that made Pinkie, right?
Wait, get Rainbow Dash.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sonic Rainbow in which Pinkie
Just
was
like,
at the
pull up
weather
Rainbow Dash.
factory.
It's like, Rainbow Dash, we need another rain boom.
I'm on it.
Boom! Wait a minute, his cutie mark, does it look like a wet rag?
Yeah, it's a rain cloud or something.
It looks like a wet rag to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
You already have a life's purpose.
Yeah, notice they didn't even use the cutie map for this episode.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like, that is, I don't know, if that's not gone altogether, I think it can be put in the pointless category.
The
I think
moral was
there's
right in front
more
of us.
than meets the eye with Pinkie.
I called that like 10 minutes ago.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Good
like
call.
separating the artist from his subject, from like his audience. That's really the reason.
Yeah.
Just
You need to
I
be the
need to
famous
make you
Amos.
smile, smile, smile.
Yeah. We're gonna need web cameras. We're gonna need bazookas. We need towels.
Oh,
Aww.
Sometimes you just gotta do you.
Wow. At least you admit it. Cough off.
Another song.
yay.
A Weird Al song.
Smiling.
Boom.
Okay, there's the Weird Al Yankovic goof.
Yay!
Yes.
Yay! He's back! Woohoo!
Produces something tied up and it's his arm.
And also the Willy Wonka references.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of this build up, and like, I haven't been laughing for ages. Okay. A safety hat on a hat.
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
Like how we've got the accordion to go around it.
Oh my
I can
god.
just imagine
she's
Weird Al like
overalls.
playing the accordion during this. It's so
Right.
awesome.
Weird Al Yankovic and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Overall.
And owls.
Stick with cheese.
Ooh.
Oh, you're going to make him laugh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Isn't that pretty much just a wet blanket? You made a laugh out of you yet, Shannon.
He's laughing!
Oh, there we go.
Well, the episode might be giving that pun a little too much credit unless it's supposed to be like he found his weak spot.
Mm. Yay, boneless soup.
Yay!
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what, trade roles?
Aww. Boneless.
Yeah.
Aw, that's cute.
Partnership. And look at that, she had it.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The surprises.
The biggest surprise would be if it actually was. Okay, well, so much for that.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was great not having an evil villain for that episode.
No.
Yeah, I was really glad they didn't do a 180 or make it his fault. No, it wasn't really his cheese sandwich doesn't fit for this job, and so he just reevaluated his life.
And
I
it's
feel
also,
like Alex kind of said it best when he said it's kind of like Canterlot Boutique instead of trying to force it to be Sassy Saddle's fault, like the guy who represents the element that Cheese himself wasn't digging. Like, I mean, he was just taking care of that side of it, and Cheese was like, the moral was, okay, well, that side of it isn't really what I should be burying myself in, whereas like with Rarity and Sassy was like, no, that side of it is what both of us should not even care a little bit about. Screw marketing. We need to just make whatever dress we want and assume that everyone will buy one-of-a-kind dresses, literally one-of-a-kind dresses no matter what. Like, that's not actually how it works. So yeah, I feel like that's where this episode gets the edge over Canterlot Boutique.
All right.
But
Well, come.
at least in Canterlot Boutique and in this, the sales pony or the frowny pony is nice. Not in like the episode with Twilight.
What? Which one's that?
Yeah, with that where they are exposing him and like, yeah, in the Rara episode.
Oh, Sven Gallop.
Sven Gallop, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Sven
the coloratura, the accountant
Oh,
Count's
yeah, that
coloratura episode.
Well,
I
sort of,
remember.
but like that, the scenario itself is a little bit different. It's not like business, like it like that really is, that kind of show business really can be a little bit of a sell your soul.
Yeah, but they
for
could have
fame
gone
and
the
glory
same
kind of
way
a
with
deal.
this factory pony.
Yeah, I mean, like this episode is
So,
definitely comes up
thankful
with
they
something
didn't do that.
more dimensional than that. But I mean, like, yeah, like that episode, unlike Canterlot Boutique, it benefits
that's
from
the
not
Pinkie.
necessarily like breaking the rules, or yeah, that is kind of a Pinkie doll at the end screen there, or pretending there's something other than what they are. It just goes the melodramatic. It just decides to tell a melodramatic type of story and embrace all the pros and cons that entails.
And I still like this
All right.
better.
But yeah, we need to. I just want to move on to. We can move on to the next episode, but I just want to go around and collect quick thoughts on this episode before you. We'll come back to this episode more in a longer discussion after we finish next. But just let's get everyone's thoughts on this episode.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Chance to speak. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, I talked over you. You go first. Sorry about that.
It's fine. I was gonna say like this episode, I think might be the strongest Pinkie Pride episode we've gotten in the later seasons.
Wow.
I may have to agree with you. I may have to agree with you on that. I that may be the strongest one, and that may be the strongest one.
Ironically, it might be the strong. When it says this one, throwing one, ironically might be the best Pinkie Pie episode since the last cheese sandwich episode.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. I actually like this more than Pinkie Pride.
What? More than Pinkie?
Wow. He doesn't like Pinkie Pride.
Carlos,
you don't like Pinkie Pride, do you?
No, it's like before it was kind of like I was sort of like a sheep, like being like I'm okay with it. I was not like a big fan of Pinkie Pride, but then talking with like my friend Vulcan and learning about how he disliked the episode, I'm like, I don't like this episode as much as like say a friend indeed, or like too many Pinkie Pies. But this episode definitely overshots like Pinkie Pride in the character aspect of like Cheese Sandwich. Like Cheese wasn't like some sort of like obstacle or like some sort of like a like apex character that we don't really get a grasp of his character until later on in the episode. No, we get full deep in on like a comedian who lost his gift of gab or laugh in this case, and it's just like it's Halloween, but it's also like it makes it like a very much human connection between him and Pinkie Pie, just bringing the laughter back to him. It reminds me of like the very old Pinkie Pie comic of like the micro series, if anyone remembers that from IDW, in which like she did the same for like a Pony Clown, and I think this is why I really have high respect for this episode. It doesn't rip off the script for that comic, but at the same time, it homages it in such a way that I just can't give up about give it like a raving review, because this is the type of episode that I really love from Pinkie Pie, and it goes back to like her roots completely, not forcing like a like sort of like a prideful personality of like someone seeking to be the best when no drive like that didn't really existed in her. That was like the big reason why Pinkie Pride was really not okay for me. Well, more not okay for like the other guy I mentioned, but I agree with this point. Like, I don't like Pinkie Pie like having that sort of degree of like competitiveness that doesn't exist.
True.
But
Alright.
this time it's Pinkie Pie just like having like some sort of like a wanting for like more, but then finding out like she doesn't need it. So it subverts also the princess stereotype from Disney.
Alright.
There you go.
Alright. Who's up next?
Dave Lover.
I also really liked it. I think there's more to this episode than we are actually thinking, because like the finding out your life purpose, I know like all of you guys were like, oh, okay, like doesn't she already have one? But I think like there's more her realizing that she actually already had it when like she said no and she wanted to go back to the main six and stuff like that. I think Pinkie is like learning slower than us. Not to say anything against her intelligence or anything, but she's like, as she said, the party pony, and she wants to do all of this good stuff with Cheese, and like, I just think it was a beautiful message with like Cheese losing his laughter by like not being able to see other people laugh. I could actually relate to that a little bit. So like I do understand like the purpose of Pinkie is to figure out how to make everybody laugh and be a part of the main six. But yeah, I really like the new character, this Rain on Your Parade guy. I don't know if that was his name, but that's what I'm going to call him from now on. And I think like it was a good song, and as I said, I think the meaning is actually deeper than we give it credit for, but maybe that's just me. So overall, I think like that was a really good episode. I do like Pinkie Pride better, I will say, but I think like it's a close second of my favorite Pinkie Pie episodes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that just me and Alex left?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, why not me then? Okay, so yeah, I was saying at the beginning of this, don't tell me they're going to try to drop Pinkie Pie doesn't know her life purpose on us now. And, okay, I will say ahead of time, especially, like, yeah, I would have almost be destined to have strong reactions to that either way, because, yeah, this episode hits pretty close to home. Mm-hmm. Being on it. Like, I mean, I feel like I've been cheese sandwich in the factory, and I've been Pinkie Pie feeling like, okay, am I, running something into the ground without going anywhere, and and in many ways, I'm still, like, working on, alright, so, what am I, like, I'm setting stuff up, like, okay, I'm on the verge of either becoming potentially cheese sandwich in a factory or Pinkie Pie going nowhere or whatever they both have at the end where they're pretty satisfied, and I don't know, it's going to be 1 out of 3. I have a 1 in 3 odds. There are worse things. But, okay, so, but yeah, they, like, I would be hard on you there if you tried to drag it out for more it was worth, because don't BS me, don't try to tell me it's something other than it is, because that's easy to write, and because people, nod their heads up and down with open mouth smiles going, like, no, don't try to, give me the easy answer because of that, and it didn't. It only tried to give Pinkie doesn't know her purpose. She is going to find her purpose, for example, and then at the end of it all, like, okay, she's seen the reassurance she needs that no, she's fine, so okay, she's fine. It doesn't try to get more out of that than it's worth. Is cheese sandwich, hey, we need to make you laugh, and then are they gonna drag that out for the whole episode, and then at the end, like, oh wait, the thing that makes you laugh is being true to yourself. No, they did that for a little bit, and then they were like, okay, so why is it not working? And like with like half the episode or so left, like, oh well, what makes him happy is making it. Like, they explore a lot of different things here, and they don't try to drag out any of them for more than what they're worth. So the good news is they all succeed, and the bad news is that means they're all only worth so much. This episode does a bunch of like little things that have meaning, and it does them solidly. Like, we were comparing it to 2 other episodes before, Canterlot Boutique and Rah-Rah, main attraction, that one. And, okay, Canterlot Boutique, trying to get
Pride.
more out of, and you could argue even just, like, silly messages out of a similar scenario, so that's below this to me. And main attraction sets up a melodramatic scenario, but one that can at least support being a melodramatic scenario. So even though it's a little cheesy at points to me, like, Rah-Rah's thing is to literally throw out her answer is to literally throw out her image and sing a song about being true to yourself on stage in front of everybody. But for better and for worse, that makes you feel something. Like, I feel like I get more emotion out of something like that. So I feel like the order for me is like main attraction, then this, then Canterlot Boutique. Like, main attraction, I think, is an A-. Canterlot Boutique is like a C, and this is like a B. Say, like, other Pinkie Pie episodes, like this, it made me chuckle a few times. Something like that has a smile plastered on my face and belly laughs. That's more like too many Pinkie Pies. Or actually, I think past few seasons, like, they've kept up the Pinkie Pie episodes fairly well. Loved Gift of Mod Pie. Loved Secrets and Pies. Season 8 fails at everything, so ignore that one. But yeah, B episode.
Yay.
B grade episode.
I think I will agree with that, with a little bit of cheese.
I thought you said you loved it.
Yeah, I loved it.
So she agrees with me, but she still loves it.
Yeah, with cheese.
Take it away, Alex.
All right, I would agree. I might even say B- or something, because it's a simple episode. It doesn't try too hard to have like a complex plot, but it does all right with what it has. The problem is that, like, it from the very start, it screams to you what the conflict is, and it's so obvious that, like, I don't know, it makes it hard for me to kind of enjoy it. And I like episodes where it makes you think a little more to, but there's that.
And it actually caught me off guard with them bringing in the science of laughter and them trying all of that stuff.
Well,
that's
another
what?
thing it tries for a second and does solidly. Like, there is a technical side. Like, you can't just produce, like, imaginative ideas and just splotch them all down on a piece of paper and throw them at people. You need a little bit of structure. You need a delivery. You need to know when you're just chewing your own tail or just amusing yourself, just repeating something you've heard before because it made you laugh then. Like, there is that side of it, and
I could just imagine
like everything else,
Twilight
they touch on that, and it's
though.
like, that's true.
Yeah, I could just imagine Twilight there, though, being like taking notes for next time she needs to take.
Yeah. I feel like we're turning this into what DC didn't want it to be, though.
Yeah,
now, like, no back and forth discussions yet.
Yeah, well, especially since you have to leave soon.
Yes.
So I guess any other final bits before we head off to episode 15?
They really shouldn't have used that. Oh, what did you say before? No, after that joke 2 times. Like, once was enough, but twice.
How do you use it twice?
Well, I think the saying with the humor is like, don't you do it like, you can repeat a joke, but you have to do it 3 times or something like that.
3 times is the golden rule, yes.
Yeah, well, and you have to do some, in my opinion anyway, you have to alter it in some way each time. Like, if you give us literally the same joke 3 times, that just makes you seem self-impressed with it.
Well, it depends on what it is and in what context it is.
Yeah, like if you're able to surprise us with it more than once, that is doing something different in some way. That's like, yeah, a new surprise. But yeah, like literally the same thing, and we know how it's gonna happen, and we know what it is, word for word. Then it's not funny, and to me anyway. So yeah.
Yay.
And another thing, like, why? So when Pinkie Pie was trying to get Cheese to laugh, why didn't she like explore other forms of humor, like instead of just sticking with gags?
Because they only have 22 minutes.
Yeah, and I also think like that's Pinkie's main mode of making people laugh, if I'm not mistaken.
Like, not every episode is goes out on too much of a limb with Pinkie. Well, okay, she's a party pony. What does that bring to mind? Juggling and clown gags and stuff like that. Like, and that's why I like episodes like Baby Cakes that weren't afraid to be a little creative. Like, she tries stand-up comedy. She tries physical gags and not just open a bag of peanuts and it's a bag of.
But it could have been really funny if she dragged out of her main mod to try to make him laugh, or open the doors and here's Rainbow Dash. We'll try to make a sun and rainbow to make your curls curlier or something. I
feel like Pinkie Pie was the show's creation for the ages when she was truly like nothing you've seen before.
Yeah. Or like out of her main, here's Mudbriar.
that would be interesting if she could be like, Pinkie, here's your challenge: make Mudbriar laugh.
Oh yeah, I have the ultimate challenge for you, Cheese, and Mudbriar pops out of her main.
Oh my god! Yeah, you know what? Let's double it up. Let's go all or nothing. Like Pinkie, Cheese, we got a challenge for you. What is it? Make Maud and Mudbriar laugh.
Oh, we know Maud loves stand-up comedy. She laughs on the inside or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Maud's a lost cause if you're gonna get her to laugh to like all out laugh. You're not gonna. And plus it's not in her character. It's not in her character to do that, because she doesn't express it the way Pinkie does, and it would be out of her character. So, but
I'd like to see them,
however, I don't know.
I'd like to see them tell us the one joke, if they could make me believe it, that would make Maud bust a gut.
Okay, that would. Okay, yeah.
Some kind of double reversal rock pun.
I think I know it.
And then all of a sudden, the laughter that she had held inside all her life comes spewing forth.
Oh yeah, and if they
managed.
Yeah, if there was still something Maud about it, something Maud about the way she laughed, that would be officially the most precious moment ever.
She would probably laugh like this.
All right, we really need to move on to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, everyone ready for episode 15?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Back on the train.
Yeah.
All right, everyone press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, Kim Cartoon, haven't seen you in a while.
Cartoon. Yeah, ever since Star ended.
Oh, Betty.
Okay,
Snails?
oh my
Plastic
god,
puckball.
the puckball
Okay.
crew is back again. This is gonna be
Yeah,
Oh,
great.
so she's going to play buckball?
Yeah, see, we
Yeah,
are
she really
I
does.
just love that
listening,
confused look.
again.
And she really loves
Because-
zip line!
Anything but previous, first 3-4 seasons Celestia.
Fluttershy, don't stare hyperrumbling.
Oh yeah, you can breathe all right.
Oh god, Fluttershy. You can handle
Come on,
it.
Take Snail's
Don't
advice.
cry.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, they know what they ordered. 2 weeks worth of training.
for a minute I thought Fluttershy was gonna be like, I'm so scared, I'm so shy. I'm like, oh god, no, please don't throw away all that character development.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or just do the last Buckball episode all over again. Oh, pressure's on. Which they still might, granted, but...
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Ooh.
Although I thought
Yay,
Rainbow and
Fluttershy.
Applejack were the coaches. Okay. Yeah,
Okay. There's rainbows.
yeah.
Mm.
Rainbow Dash is done what every boxer does
Okay,
when they
that's a
can't
little
be
too
the
much,
champ.
Rainbow.
They become a trainer.
Aha, 120%. Did you have
Yeah.
20% extra?
Yeah. But,
Oh my god.
come on, Rainbow's the coach.
The cheerleaders.
Because that's so wacky.
Come
Oh
on.
god.
Is that the longest cold open to an episode ever?
No,
2
we've had
minutes.
some pretty long ones.
I mean, maybe one of the longer ones, but I'm betting that out of 150, or what do we have? No, 200 and... What are we at?
I think we're
5,
currently
10...
at... No, we're
200.
at 209.
Okay.
Woo!
But yeah,
210, actually. It's in
Yeah,
the subtitles.
just a random number when I realized we had a 200 marker, but yeah.
Oh, no, wait.
No,
it's
I feel like we
210
could find at
actually.
least one that was longer.
Maybe.
It actually said the episode number. 110.
Okay, so Rainbow Dash, who's done nothing but coach, has to cheerlead, and the other ponies who's done anything but coach.
The cheer squad is really important.
We're learning
Rainbow.
about the importance of cheerleaders.
Oh, you're
I mean,
serious.
take a
Let me
pencil
laugh
as soon as
harder.
possible.
Ah!
Okay,
Wow,
standing up for
Rainbow.
cheerleaders. I mean, knowing a couple cheerleaders, I guess I can appreciate that. But no, they get the
Wow.
audience psyched, is what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Ow, Twilight.
Ah.
God,
Yeah, I mean, Rainbow Dash can get pretty excited for a game, granted, but yeah, the cheer squad is about the
wait a
audience.
minute.
So if they're gonna try to claim a cheer squad as a really important part of winning, like,
Oh my gosh, I just remembered. This is like kind of a callback to the where he teaches Fluttershy to cheer.
Yeah, that's
Remember
true.
the louder, yay,
Yay.
louder, yay, louder,
yay!
Oh my god, why?
Waka waka
Why,
waka!
Snaps?
It's the Snips Show.
Why, Snaps? Somebody stop him before he falls in. He falls in with Flim and Flam.
No, it's too late.
Oh god,
We
no.
haven't seen them yet, so.
Yay! Oh, cute.
Okay.
Light hoof.
It's cool, but
Oh
I'm
my-
not sure why Rainbow Dash needs
anybody-
to learn this lesson.
Does anyone think those uniforms look like the Spartans uniforms in that Saturday Night Live skit?
I don't know if I saw that
Maybe
one.
not. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just thinking of the colors. Never mind.
Oh, you mean the one with
I
Will
still can't
Ferrell?
believe you're a girl.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe that dragon's a girl.
It does look like she has a mohawk, actually. A dragon.
That's the best answer ever. You taught Fluttershy how to cheer.
Well,
Okay. See, you're not giving me a chance to transition off of preemptive cynicism because you just keep doing the hammy laying it on thick thing. Cheerleading is important. I don't believe you. Cheerleading is important. I don't believe you. We're getting worse because you don't believe us. Well, I'll just wait for the big last-minute inspiration then.
More like you're getting worse because Yona thinks she's at a Head of Heavy Metal concert.
Now, to be fair, like it was already established by is it Snail or
that's
it's
such a
Snips?
bad idea.
I still
Yeah, it was
maintain
already
that.
established that they need like 2 years to get better, really.
Make
Guys,
Yona at the bottom.
guys, I'm sorry.
I tell you, Yona.
I stopped the episode at like 4 minutes.
Why did you do that?
Because I was interrupted, and apparently like I needed to mute myself so you didn't hear any background noise, which paused the episode.
Oh, so should we pause and go back?
Would you believe us if we said you didn't miss much and you fast forwarded to 7:30?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go over to 7:30. That's fine.
You missed Rainbow meets her cheer team and.
Just make it 7:45.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Big.
That's fine.
we're not there. Okay, fine.
All right, 7:45. I'm there. All right, and anyone doing the countdown?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, actually, let's just go back to 7:45.
Okay.
Oh.
No, so make it 7:40. It's completely black right there.
Sure.
Like,
Are we starting again at 7:45?
no, 7:40.
7:40.
7:40.
Okay, so go back to 7:40.
Yeah.
7:40.
Mhm.
Going back to 7:40. Oh, dang it. Let me go back. Yeah, go back. I can only do. It won't let me go to 7:40. Only
Okay, so
let
what
me
do we
go.
have?
Wait, I got it. No bad. I got it. It's okay. Good.
All right.
Good.
We're gonna press
Alright.
play in 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, let's see what Rainbow's cheer squad is.
Yeah.
Couple actual cheerleaders and the female student 6.
Ooh.
And they're very, very bad.
Yona would be great at a metal concert.
Mm. Wow.
They will lose.
Sometimes.
That is true.
Mhm.
I mean,
Wait,
like.
is this gonna be a Snips episode? Because
I mean, I guess there's such a thing as being encouraged by positive cheering and stuff. Just like every team I've ever been on, it's like, okay, pay attention to nothing except the obstacle in front of you. You're supposed to think nothing else matters.
wow.
It's cold.
Well, it's delegating.
The Tao of Snails.
The ball.
That's the
You
best
have to
I've ever
feed the
heard.
immaterial.
Or do they?
Wow.
Balls don't have mics. I love it.
Mulder.
Oh, poor little kid. Oh, poor little changeling.
Come on, do loyalty.
Photosynthesis.
my
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
Wow. Rainbow being at her absolute
Running
best
from
in
responsibilities.
her worst.
Wow.
Okay, I mean,
Oh my god. Now
a little of this might have been fun. Nothing but this is...
And the fact it's coming from snails of all ponies.
Yeah, Rainbow. you're
And
really
Party
being like-
Cannon, really?
You're being like the character that really
Those are
explains
cute,
why I
though.
don't like you. Well, thank you now
mean,
for
like-
giving me an episode for evidence.
I think I'm starting to realize why I like Rainbow Dash went from can't miss episode hitmaker to I feel like I've good Rainbow Dash episodes are becoming fewer and farther between, because they really are training her down to her most
Wait a
basic
minute.
qualities.
Isn't
It's
this the
literally
season
been
9
one day.
version? Isn't this the season 9 version of like that
Dude,
Rainbow
yes.
Dash and Applejack
Shut up.
episode? Oh,
Oh, wait a minute, because cheers have to rhyme.
Yeah.
No, Zakor is a lot helpful than you think, Dash.
yes. Wow.
Wouldn't a coach do that, Dash?
I feel this episode would have worked better last season when they were just establishing their roles as teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
And
She
also,
should've not
if
do
Dash
this.
hadn't already taught Fluttershy to cheer, which is proof that she can teach to cheer.
Yeah.
and I mean,
Wow.
okay, even then last season that might have come off better if they were trying to portray it as Rainbow Dash legitimately trying to figure it out and assuming that's all she had to offer. Here it just comes off like she's being a jerk, a jag-off, as we say around these parts. Like, screw you, I don't care about you, I don't, like, she's actively choosing to take disinterest because
Oh my God,
Wow.
Because that's conflict. Rainbow Dash is just that negligent. Yucky, ricky, ricky.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
The swindler snip.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I
Snips
tell you, Yona needs
We will
someone
rock
take
you,
Yona
we
to
will
a metal
rock
concert.
Mm-hmm.
Sad thing is, this is improvement.
See, when they, you don't get it when they don't have coaching with the stuff. It still doesn't work.
Ooh, ow.
And it ends with a pratfall.
Wow.
Rainbow,
You
you're
didn't even look at our
insufferable.
performance. Excuse me. This is pretty translated Rainbow Dash here.
Yeah, this is a little hard on her. Like, she's not the one to run from responsibilities like this.
I mean, this is what happens when you take someone's most, like, you
Element of
reduce someone
loyalty,
to a
more-
two-dimensional quality so you can make an easy conflict. This is
Wow.
formula writing at its most basic.
You made Yona cry. You're
You
bad
heartless
pony.
human. Rainbow Dash, do you want to become worst named 6 member? Because you're about to. You're about to be Twilight.
Serious?
Oh my God.
Serious?
So,
Oh, you made her yell and cry. You bad pony. You ultra bad pony.
I would have said something else with the B word. Why? You're such a jerk, Rainbow.
Then also the Wonder Balls are basically
my
a giant
God.
cheer squad.
You cannot.
The episode that
See,
uses two
this
20% jokes
Oh,
in the same
Actually, 3.
3.
Ooh, that hurt.
Rule of threes, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. Smolder gave the final blow. Good job.
Honestly, that was
Smolder's
probably the most
Master
interesting
Burns.
thing in the whole episode. I mean, I'm not even being sarcastic about that.
Ooh, we're back in business. Ooh.
That's gonna become an image on Derby Buru.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Specious.
A rainbow.
Like, no way.
All right.
Okay, now it feels like this should be in season 9, not 8.
Well, this
Okay,
part of
guys.
it.
I think we've drained all the goodwill for the 20% cooler joke now.
Yeah. Okay, you're killing this joke too.
Oh,
Yeah.
brother.
Just being Mr. Krabs.
He's trying.
They use Yona's stomping as like build up for the actual cheering. That would be cool.
Ooh.
Oh, time it right. Okay, time it
Time
right.
gives an impact.
Louder!
Just give her a megaphone.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Ooh.
Glitter!
Oh, Papa. Oh,
So keep your mouth shut and wave flags. Or
yes, smoke signal.
Smoke.
direct her with the flags.
Wait, was that a flutter pony?
Oh, she has
it
the
really
wings.
does look
Oh,
like
yeah,
it.
it's the one wing
does.
from season 1.
Aw.
Oh yeah, those. Oh, they gave her temporary wings so she could play that position. Right.
And I think I saw Sandbar and
Gallus.
Gallus in this.
Gallus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy crap, Royal Canterlot voice.
Or Kids Love where Celestia feels most unnatural.
Sure. I don't know. I think they've been sent the message by this point that wacky Celestia equals, smile and cheer.
Oh my god, half time. And Rainbow did a complete 180. Go, girl. Pony. Pony. Oh,
Nice.
Is this going to become a remix? Probably.
wait, is that
Probably,
Steve?
Shit.
Okay, the cutting from cheerleaders to crowds is inspired here. Yeah, that kind of works, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the episode title.
Yes!
Whoa, yeah.
With pyrotechnics. I like it.
After finally stepping up to the plate.
Oh, well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they couldn't even pretend that the cheerleading was helpful. Oh, how wacky! She's on the other side of the fence now.
Yay!
And finally,
Yes. Right.
Yeah, strange how calling out the formula doesn't make it less of a formula.
This is a complicated episode. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not complicated like, oh, this is a master. I mean, like complicated like there's good parts but there's a lot of bad mixed in.
Yeah.
like multiple reasons why Rainbow Dash is worse than Six Pony.
Yeah, I think I brought this up earlier. I felt this would have worked better last season if they would have spun it like, oh, she's just bad at teaching because she doesn't understand like supporting students even if their interests diverge sort of thing, and they play with that. But even that would be stretching it. Like, this feels.
That still would have to go above and beyond what this did. Yeah, it would have to put more thought and effort into it.
Yeah, this like feels like season 1 Rainbow Dash.
No more of that. You know what? People say season 1 Rainbow Dash when they because that is an easy stand-in for two-dimensional Rainbow Dash. For Rainbow Dash that is undeveloped. Even Rainbow Dash at her most over the top in season 1, the point was that she was the point was she had to play off of something that was bringing out her other qualities. This is let's take her backwards to her, no, let's take her down to her two-dimensional qualities. Let's go the opposite way of, hey, let's show how she's three-dimensional. Let's make her two-dimensional to make the conflict work. This Rainbow Dash is flatter than season 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and every friggin' season except for other seasons that did the same thing.
Wow, so I can tell us what you really think.
Can you also include season 6 in that argument, or not?
Season 6 did Stranger Than Fan Fiction Rainbow Dash, which was hilarious and adorable. Like I love the detail there that, like, even though we should just be mad, like it should be Quibble Pants, how annoying that, like, yeah. What's fun about Rainbow Dash is that she's actually just as competitive over this and just as bad. Like, she's not actually mad at him because he won't shut up. She's mad at him because he doesn't agree with her. She keeps, like, no matter how long he goes on, she actually keeps listening and trying to think of ways to beat it. It's like, I didn't
mean that episode. I meant more about, like, say, Newbie Dash or like.
Newbie Dash is just guilty of having a couple of really stupid gag sequences, like Rainbow Dash's raw nerves that have been cut pretty deep underneath the bravado and the how she how much it actually the bravado is actually the opposite of what you think it is, like how much it eats at her to have to try to suck it up and press on and pretend nothing's wrong, even as she knows they're calling her Crash and they're making fun of her and they're and then to the point where it actually gets her to keep wiping out, like see, I feel like I'm the guy. I feel like Doug Walker went before he started to suck, standing up for Christmas Story. Like, first people loved Christmas Story, and then they were like, what? They forgot they'd seen it a bunch of times, and then they're like, hey, what's so special about Christmas Story? Like, screw the little nuances it was making us feel in the moment. That no, those weren't actually a thing. It's just a simple little story, and I feel like him trying to defend that because they've run it into the ground so much, and they've done sequels and lousy live show versions of it and just distilled it down to its cheapest, most basic qualities, and I'm here. No, it was really clever and really well done and really good before, and it's almost a small wonder why people don't even care about that, because it's like that you almost can't think about it now without thinking of the cheapness, the distilled, annoying, lazy qualities. Lazy not qualities, lazy version of it.
I just want to just toss something out. I feel what made this episode just not work is, like, it sets out, at least the resolution is like, Twilight did all this to sort of teach Rainbow a lesson, but it's like, she never had this problem before this episode.
This is like the opposite of how Rainbow Dash would be like. They just
Yeah.
Loyalty and all that.
Yeah.
Loyalty.
Yeah, it's just like they created a flaw in Rainbow Dash that never really existed before. Like, she can be distracted, not interested, but she wouldn't be nowhere near this level. Like, this is completely like introducing a flaw in the last season that she never had before,
Right.
just to set up episode plot.
I mean, I feel like she could be that negligent about somebody's feelings, but like there's nothing playing off it. Like there's nothing to. Yeah, it's not the story of Rainbow Dash. What brings out her negligence? What turns it around? It's, hey, let's do a caricature of negligent Rainbow Dash and play it up and play it up and play it up, because that means more conflict, right? And then of course the third act turns it around. Like, honestly, I think on its own it's a pretty simple episode to deconstruct. It's a formula story boiled down to its absolute most formulaic qualities. Like, somebody doesn't get it, and not getting it has a price, and has a price, and has a price, and is bad, and is bad, and is bad, and then the dramatic third act turnaround. And then once it's not locked into that part of the formula anymore, like most formula stories that go that route and stick to the conflict formula for the first 2 acts, the third act is able to be a little bit more fun and freer. So you get a couple of things, like you get characters, hey, let's make her do a roundabout impression, and like, okay, they had to at least think of something that would make Rainbow Dash do a roundabout face. Smolder saying she's excited for Rainbow Dash's classes, that's something. And the turnaround, the training, and how the cheer works out and how it gets the crowd pumped up. Like, again, not the part of it that they've done the formula all the way down on the conflict and then the turnaround. So now that we've had the turnaround, it's able to have fun with that last part. But I mean, that's, I gotta say that in 209, 10, however many it was episodes, many episodes have been able to be much, much more fun than that third act was, because they had higher ambition and much more enthusiasm and energy and all of the above, and they did more than make me sit through 2 acts of bluff or a moderately all right sequence.
I'm just gonna put my two bits here, and I'm just gonna say this: like, Rainbow here, like, someone mentioned about the chart doesn't say, like, oh, this is season 1 Rainbow Dash. It's like, season 1 Rainbow Dash is unlikable, but still a strong character. Like, this isn't like a Rainbow Dash that's like just plain unlikable and like just a quitter. Even when not trying something like new, that even though it's not actually new for her, because like as we mentioned before, Sonic Rainbow, Fluttershy, and also she's appreciative of everyone, even in Rainbow Falls. Like, seriously, I have to bring up that episode as proof of like, this is not actual good continuity.
I think season 1 Rainbow Dash is fantastic. I think, like, what Griffin the brush off with when she sees that somebody is treating one of her friends unfairly, even if it's someone she knows, is gonna say, well, you're supposed to be my friend, it's gonna judge her for it. Like, she doesn't hesitate even a little bit to call Gilda out, and when Gilda turns to Pinkie Pie, she's like, no, it's her fault. We get that image of Rainbow sticking her face right in front of Pinkie Pie's and facing Gilda, like, as in, no, you're not dealing with her, you're dealing with me. You mistreated my friends, Fall Weather Friends, where they play it as like Rainbow Dash doesn't mean any harm per se, but getting Applejack mad at her feels marginally better than losing to Applejack. Like, there was, like, honestly, I think they've gone from absolutely nailing what an overly competitive person who's really talented but also insecure about losing because of that is like, to settling to using that for its most easy formula qualities.
I think when I say, like, back to season 1 Rainbow Dash, I'm more talking about like her amount of flaws and like immaturity, which has been like naturally ironed out with her character over time. I didn't mean like she was a bad character. I enjoyed her as it's like Rarity. Rarity was sort of horrible in like season 1, but like in a good written way. Like she learned and developed sort of thing. Like that's what I mean. Like I loved season 1 and 2 Rarity. This one
I
would be
just start to get defensive over that because I feel like not everybody makes that distinction. They're just like, oh yeah, season 1 was before the developments, or I don't know, whatever they say. Like, I feel like a lot of, season 1 was just 8 seasons ago, so I feel like a lot of people have no problem rewriting it to be whatever fits in their memories.
The one thing is like this one shoe I was just waiting to drop for this episode, which was like I even brought it up, but like I smoldered never went for is like dinner brought like the Wonderbolts are more or less a cheer squad. Like we really break it down. It's like I'm surprised no one brought this up because they aren't defending a question, they're just putting on air shows, entertain the crowds, and I was like, that's like the Wonderbolt's job is just to basically entertain like crowds at air show, like basically pony air shows. They're not warriors or anything like that. Like they make integrate like displays. Like that's more or less like very similar to a cheer squad. No one ever brought this up. Why?
You're so right too.
Right.
I mean, granted, that's like a stunt show, but cheerleaders do stunts.
But here's the thing: they also in Wonderbolt's Academy, they kind of marketed them almost. I don't know. They kind of did like a. I don't know. They were trying to do like a military take on the Wonderbolts.
Yeah, I feel like what people have described them as seems like the best fit to me is they're like the Blue Angels.
Cheering for Rainbow Dash and
Well, okay. Yeah, you could have brought that up as a reason for Rainbow's allergic reaction to cheerleading.
That could have been interesting.
But also, if everybody can remember, where do you think Fluttershy got the yay from?
The thing is,
because Rainbow Dash was telling her louder. Okay.
That's the one thing I will give credit for this. Like, I mean, not credit, but like not discredit. It's like there is a difference between teaching your friend to cheer and cheerleading. Like there, there is enough of a difference.
I'm sorry. I don't believe that. I don't believe that Dash could have done that easily because she's done easily in 10 seconds flat. Sorry,
the one thing I will say is like through talking to everyone here is. I honestly, like, even more now, believe this episode had a great potential to be, like, full of references, character development, and all, because, like, there's a level of, like, slight connections, like, to Rainbow Dash and cheerleading and all that, where they could bring them up, and, like, this could have been actually a brilliantly designed episode, but it just feels lazy. Like, it just, like, let's introduce a character flaw that was never existed before, and let's not really reference any other character development. Let's just have the, like, basically someone who never written for Rainbow Dash before, like I don't know actually the character, I forget the writer if they did or not, but like
it's the Fox
It
Brothers.
looks like, is it a newbie? Ketia Kambara, is the M silent? It looks like it's written.
I don't know.
It just feels like it feels like it was written by someone who was told like, oh, go write a Rainbow Dash episode, who's never has no idea what that means, sort of thing.
Okay, you've written horseplay and a rock hoof and a hard place, and I told you those were formula stories. I told you those were just formula stories.
But I actually liked horseplay.
Yeah, horseplay was. You have problems with the second.
But that's not the episode we're talking
about. Let's make her go over the top and let's make her educate
We're going off the trail here.
Fight! Don't
breathe those episodes, or let's do the same thing over and over again and then solution.
But to give, like I said, this episode, besides the potential in the whole, like I did like some of the pretty much anything that wasn't Rainbow Dash was actually pretty at least decent. And that's like even like sort of the Bill of a Snail, like his joke was overused, like how they used him actually was somewhat well thought of, like or overused. But also like I like the setup for the actual cheer itself, how like they sort of took some of the flaws and ideas and they sort of woven it into an actually good cheer thing. It's like, oh, that was well executed and like that had a good beat to it. But like it's like
the best part of it. It's okay.
Yeah, that's the same. So that part was good. It's like it's just like this. It's like this whole episode is like everything. The big problem though like goes back to Dash and like everything about her, which she has so much focus on this episode. Like, I know it's a Rainbow Dash episode, but like, there's like so much of it revolves around her, and her role is just so
That gimmick that they pull out with her, yeah.
uncomfortable, like just poorly written.
Yeah,
Like-
it could have been better.
I don't know. I mean, this is like formula stories. I'm like, okay, it's a formula. It's good for what the formula is worth. But I mean, this is just so bare bones. I'm like, I mean, it's not even like Cart Before the Ponies where they're literally just repeating themselves over and over and over, or Applejack's Day Off where it's just so dead. It's like just so lifelessly through the motions that it's. But I mean, it's just like. It's still so like you can tell it's just the barest of bare bones of the formula. And I mean, which I don't know. I've had more painful experiences. I've had experiences that, well, because of the third act, I might say it's worth more than some
other
episodes I've had from this show. But I'm like,
Yes.
geez, I mean, formula stories, I'm like, okay, well, it has the limits of a formula. It's shame that it's not more ambitious, but it's at least worth what the formula is worth. But
Yeah.
that's just so bare. It feels like it's not trying to be worth that much. It's so much lazy nothing that, if not for that third act, I might have gone all the way to a thumbs down. Now I'm just like, I guess C or something like that.
You could go with that too. Can I go
I do. Oh, you
before I
can go,
forget what I'm supposed to say?
Oh yeah, you can go, and I have to go to work. So,
Yeah, that's true.
And I will have to go to bed soon.
see you later, ponies. Sorry, I have to be rain cloud guy again.
Yeah.
No, I think we
Well, the
all
last
can
episode.
agree
You
with that.
can go first, Jen. Then.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. I'll try and make it quick. Okay. This just seemed like a callback. This seemed like a callback to a. Stop saying horseplay! You're making my mind go into the gutter. Okay. 12 seconds to stop saying horseplay, and I can't stop giggling.
He's going now. It's only me.
I can't stop giggling now. Okay. I'll call this. Okay. Okay, this seemed like a. Okay, this seemed like a callback to it seemed like it was a callback episode, but really, it could have been way executed better. If you really wanted to drive the callback home, first off, okay, the whole idea is like of her not knowing cheerleading or whatever. Take that concept out. You
Actually,
know?
I would just want a little opinion that I think this might have worked better the opposite, where if her flaw was less about her being not interested and more about her just being, I have no idea what to do. I felt it could have worked better.
Okay, I will concede that, you know, teaching your friend how to cheer is different than teaching a class how to cheer. So okay, we'll give that, but take the idea that she doesn't know what cheerleading is out of the equation. But she's like, okay, I never taught a squad before. I'm like, what do I do? So something like that, or if you really wanted to drive the call back home, honestly, this would have been great to do. You bring in Fluttershy, and Fluttershy could have said like, what was that you always told me? And she'd be like, oh yeah, and then all of a sudden freak everybody out with her yelling out, louder! Oh my god, that would have been beautiful. That would have been glorious. It would have been an attribute to Fluttershy, like Fluttershy getting the best character development out of all the seasons, and also how far she's come, but also you go back to that one, you get that nice little memory of season 1 when she was learning how to cheer and such. And
that's sort of what I meant by.
Could have worked better. Yeah.
I think they could have really just driven that home. If they want to do a callback, that's what they should have done.
That's what
they should have done, honestly.
That's what I meant. Where I felt this episode could have worked better if it would have referenced more previous episodes. Like it could have been an adult episode. Because, like, say, we bring up Fluttershy's cheering. That seems the obvious one.
Right.
But also her parents. We could bring up Scootaloo. We could show, like, all these people who helped cheered her on to get to where she are. And she, like, takes little bits from those. That's why I said this episode could have been great. It could have been a great reference, like, character development episode.
Yes.
But it's
and that
just like,
would
forget
be
all
better.
that.
that would have been better. That would have been great development for Fluttershy, but also that really would have solidified. I think that really would have solidified like Dash, and how far she's coming in this journey too. But it's like okay, I don't know if I'm using the right term here, but they retconned. I don't know if I'm using the right. Forgive me if I'm using the wrong term, but it's the one thing that's coming to my mind. It's like they retconned it and like went back to like season 1 and they went back to like how she was in the beginning because it doesn't seem right or maybe even season 2 when Discord got a hold of her and she was like the opposite of loyalty because all I had to do was like, okay, I remember like when she's walking out the door when they're blindfolded, I'm like, okay,
Honestly,
she
yeah,
did
that
that.
does
She
seem
did
like-
that when she did that when Discord had a hold of her. I'm like, hold on a minute, nope, you've gone the wrong direction.
This actually does seem like that. Sure, her initial teaching really was pretty much like it was opposite Rainbow Dash.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, and their so dismissive attitude towards cheerleading. I mean, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, we get it, she's a jock. We get it, she's a freaking jock. But
Even
man,
Jock-
even jocks know there's a purpose for cheerleaders other than eye candy, other than merchandise pushing and eye candy and crap like that. But yeah, and Snips actually had it right in what he explained it. When Snips gets it more than you do, that's something here. But and the thing is with the development that Rainbow Dash has had. I'm not making this quick. I'm sorry. Okay, let me see if I can drive it home. With the development she's had, it really seemed out of place.
Mhm.
But good on Smolder for kind of calling out Dash on that. I like that. And and with the development, I almost agreed with people who say like Rainbow Dash is worst pony. But in that scene, I'm like, okay, you just upped your worst pony points. So it's like, how dare you make Yona cry?
Yeah, that's true.
And how dare you make
And
Ocellus? And how dare you make
Ocellus,
Ocellus yell at you and cry? That makes you just earned 3 bad pony points.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good. That's not good. But yeah, I'll drive it home. I promise. Okay. But yeah, not the cheer. How the end of it was really nice. And the second half of it I really liked the best. The first half is hard to get through. Once you do, the second half does have a little bit of a payoff. But still, callback episode. They could have done a lot better with this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's it. Shh, I'm shutting up now. Shh.
But I really love the moral in this story. It's just like I was thinking about like they could have made it so it was more with her only caring about the team that was actually winning, because as you see in the end, and this is what I don't like with the third part, she runs right past the ones that failed and didn't win, without even saying like that was a good job too. She goes to the ones that wins and celebrates, and yes, that's fine as well, but you should get a little bit of grace or a little bit of thankfulness to the team as well, even though that they haven't been winning. I still think like it's important to like show that you learn to care, but again,
To
those
just not
ponies,
be a complete jerk.
yes, those ponies are not have no relations to Rainbow Dash, and we're probably never going to see them again, which makes it even worse to me because like you're not like even giving them a small like, okay, thank you for being in this episode, we're never going to see you again. No, we're just going to celebrate the young main 6, and that's fine. But I like the third part, all right, but it's just like I was so disappointed with it. It could have been like such a great episode if they were like, oh, you only care about the team because they're winning. And
That's even
that
better.
could have been interesting to be like, okay, now you're focusing on the team that's cheering, and like she said, like we're going to make it this great cheer, so you don't even care about like going to the game, and that's not the essence of a cheering. Like you're supposed to like boost the game so they win. So
Mhm.
yeah. I
That's
don't know, but
even that
they
that's a
still
better
did
idea.
a good job, and I will still say like they earned, of course, their yeah. But I think like it could still be nice to have an episode that was actually learning Rainbow Dash, that it's okay to actually fail, or it's okay to actually be okay. You have this competition, and like you have, if you lose, it's yeah okay as well. I
I
think like
agree.
that could actually be a stronger message than like that could also be an interesting way for Twilight to actually teach her that, being like going back to earlier episodes. I like the idea that you had, Jen, with like going back and showing like earlier episodes,
Right.
like you
referencing back to the
like
yay
you
thing.
you have and you have problems in Sonic Rainbow yourself. Remember, like how hard it was for you if you had somebody to cheer for you, which you got after that, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
I
I
don't know.
like that. Right.
Yeah.
That right. I agree with you, Day. That would be that's a better that's a better lesson. That's the lesson. That's really the big lesson that I think she should have learned at this point.
Which one?
And yeah, not to hold with the winning team all of the time.
Winning isn't
Or
everything,
not
pretty
learn.
much.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's not that important to like be 100% awesome all of the time, or 120%. I'm sorry.
And yeah, that's definitely like a good point to like bring up about this episode, because like it's like I have a huge complaint about the huge turnaround that just happened like all of a sudden, like right after like the second act, and it's like after listening to Smolder, after like you're supposed to be like stubborn and like ego-head eccentric about like you're disinterested about cheerleading, and it's like, well, I'm now feeling it, and it's like this big turnaround, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna motivate you guys, even though I didn't actually like study like get into like cheerleading, because it's like.
Or it could have been like Rainbow Dash gets her parents, as Second said, and be like, well, I don't know anything about cheering, but I know two ponies that does.
Oh my
right?
god, that would also work. That would also work too. Like Day Lover, you're just coming out with all of these brilliant rewrites, and
Day Lover needs to rewrite this episode. There you go.
Yeah,
It's not just. Oh, by the way, Carlos, we had a panel that Ninja and I went to at BrodyCon was called Discord fixes everything. This this should be Day Lover fixes everything.
Day Lover fixes everything. The video.
Day Lover.
Okay, like this episode 246 great. It should be 246 mediocre, because that's what this episode feels like to me. With like it's like it makes me like antagonize against Rainbow Dash, but for like the most laziest of reasons. Like not even for like spiteful reasons, like one might think for like Mysterious Mary Duel or 28 Pranks Later, but it's like just like the worst of like a jock stereotype. Just like not doing everything in her power to like don't do any work at all, just exhibiting sloth all over.
And I do understand the concept of like, if you're not interested in certain things that your friends are, you're being like, okay, I would prefer to do something else. But as she learns from this episode, like if you care about the person, you're going to give a little leeway. It should just have been like earlier in the episode it was happening, I guess, for me for it to work. Right.
And also it's like I just couldn't like get over like I mean like I thought this episode was gonna have like some sort of like boon for like Snips, but we never really get any sort of crescendo for like his involvement in this episode. So it's like in the end, Snips leaves the series if this is like his last major appearance in like in an episode. I was like, yeah, he was just a stereotypical bad boy character. Meanwhile, Snails managed to get development and even got increasing voice lines and participation in later season because of that. So it's just like Snips and Snails is no longer a duo. Snails has become more successful than Snips.
That's
And this
true,
is
yeah.
the sad tale of like Snips becoming like a depressed boy who's just like found out that like his friend has gone on to greener pastures, but he's been left
Well,
behind. And
that's
then
that's actually more interesting than the main plot, like having like this friendship that didn't work out, but they're actually trying to do each their own thing. That's actually more interesting than the main stuff. That's horrible.
yeah. I mean like that's just like me like just bringing out the truth about like because like
Yeah.
that's just how it feels for Snips in this episode.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
can still move on. Like you don't need to be friends. You can do your own stuff. Yeah, that's actually
but,
interesting.
yeah,
True.
but and lastly, just the big performance here didn't save this episode at all. It just only just increased the entertainment a bit, and it's like. It feels like a worse version of like the washouts because like the washouts did like performances before, even
Oh, I
if it
forgot
was
about the
like
washouts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wait, doesn't Rainbow Dash she's against Scootaloo being part of their team?
yes.
Yeah. It could also be like she's no, like that wouldn't work. No.
I was just bringing it up because like even though like the washouts had some like bad elements to it, like and how like the conflict was developing there, it still had very good presentation value that like even if it like that greatly enhanced the episode, but like in this case for this episode, the presentation was just like it was like an extended scene that was like very cheerful, very lively and such. But yeah, like in the end, it's like it was a good performance, but like I didn't like the build up to it. It was like we got the ends, but it doesn't mean like the ends justifies the means of getting there. And the only big positive point I like to bring out is the fact that School of Friendship lost.
Yes.
And I am so happy that we did not have another PS tie. I mean, really, this show
but
distinct. I mean, I know it's like a minor point. It's a minor point, but the fact that the School of Magic actually won over them, it doesn't mean like our main characters win all the time. It means that they can falter, they can fail. You know, it's like this is like this little underrated point that just like I know I'm hanging on to it too long, but it's like we needed more of this in the actual series, not any of this like a tie business like in the equestrian like in the friendship games or like what happened in like an Honest Apple. Like I am not dealing with that. We are not dealing with ties here.
No.
I'm so happy.
No, we don't. We already did that in Friendship Games, didn't we?
That's true. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
We already did that. Although it was fun the first time.
But then Apple continued it, and then it kept on getting worse.
Yeah, it's time to stop with the ties and to get win or lose.
It could be interesting if like the episode, like in the middle, it ended with the team losing, but the cheer squad was still cheering for the losing team, and Rainbow Dash were just like, why are you still cheering? They lost. And like then I could get my fulfillment of Rainbow Dash learning the lesson of like you don't always have to like
winning isn't everything.
Winning is everything.
Sorry,
like we're just giving them moral support, even in the lowest times, because like if we don't give them like any support like that, they'll just feel worse than what they're feeling right now. We're here to uplift their spirits. That's what the
and it doesn't matter if you're winning or not.
Oh yeah, and also by the way, Kim Possible would like a word with you, Rainbow Dash, on your on cheerleading.
Yes. And Quibble too. Just kidding.
Oh boy, Quibble. I wonder. Excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you. I think if Quibble had a rant in mind, Rainbow Dash, I'm sorry, you're on your own. You earned it. You earned it.
Yeah.
Have at it. I'd be like, have at it, Quibble.
Okay, but yeah. So I guess in the end, out of these two episodes, the last laugh is definitely a great episode for the season. Possibly a great episode for the entire series. That's how big I'm rating it. I don't think it's top tier, but it's definitely like a great episode. Like its subtle build up with like the use of like Weird Al in such a subdued role for most of the episodes, just giving it that much more gravitas. Of like, yeah, Weird Al's not just all about weirdness and such. He also can play it straight and serious.
And the fact that we got another song out of him, that was great to
really
see.
good.
That was now it honestly the last laugh, honestly, I think the one common thing they've got of these two is they were both callbacks. The last laugh did it better. They did the callback much better.
Hey Jen,
Yes.
do you know how you get Maud to laugh?
How?
You give her a stick in the mud. I'm terrible.
Darn it, I told you no more horseplay.
I promise that was the last one.
Jenn.exe has broken.
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, but
Okay.
still, this is still hilarious.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
still
So
hilarious.
yeah. Meanwhile, for like 246 great, it's definitely a non-confrontation clause level episode. Non-compete clause, not compete.
It was good to a point that 246 great. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you lost it there.
Wait a minute. I think this might be the first dud of the season.
It's I don't think it's a complete dud. 50% dud. I'm gonna give it a 50% dud.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like with those confusing about this episode is like, it's not just a full like dud like bleh. It's just like a lot of bad mixed with some good, and it's just like sliced. It's like composited together. Just it's like a McDonald's of an episode, or like a McDonald's hamburger of an episode, where it's just sort of a mixture of everything that sort of becomes out meh. But
right.
Yeah. It actually, like, the score reminds me a little, like, now I see the title of the episode and it's 246 great. And I'm just like, yeah, that was actually what it was. 246.
246 great.
You say 246 great. I say 246 bullshit.
Here comes the herd.
Burn.
The burning.
I'm just gonna like be like, yeah, this isn't really like my cup of tea of an episode, and hopefully Rainbow Dash might get like a second chance this season, because this is like her last chance to like impress us before she's gone forever. Our Rainbow Dash.
She'll be back in Gen 5.
It might seem like the Rainbow Dash. She might act like a Rainbow Dash, but she won't be the exact same Rainbow Dash from this universe.
Does he taste like a Rainbow Dash?
That's a good question.
Does she taste like raised glow?
Tastes like computer screen.
Raised glow sounds better. Oh, by the way, if you don't know what that means, Alex, did you see the drawing I did of Cozy Glow at BronyCon?
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, I did. I actually did my first sketch for the first time in a long time, and I drew in the Discord fixes everything thing, and I drew a picture of Cozy Glow with like on a platter with X's on her eyes, like she's dead, and she has an apple in her mouth.
So funny.
I still plan on like perfecting that one day.
Yeah, we should put, like, if we can put that in here, like a picture of it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that I must perfect it to make it perfect for viewing.
Oh, you're going to color it?
Oh yes, I'd love to.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I just gotta
Sounds good.
perfect it. I just gotta perfect it, make it look good, color and all that fun stuff.
Coloring is the fun stuff.
It is the fun stuffs.
But I definitely like the cheese sandwich episode better than the Rainbow Dash episode.
I love
That's not a fair competition at
No.
all.
No,
yeah,
it's not.
cheese sandwich wins this round.
Yep.
That's like comparing the cheer they started with the final one in terms of quality difference.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
Not good. Actually, now we were talking about the what was it? Not the Wonder Balls, but the other ones, the evil ones. Help me out. That Scootaloo wants to be a part of.
Shadow
Shouts.
No.
The Shouts. Like didn't Rainbow Dash cheer for them as well at some point, or am I just remembering wrong now? Because I'm being like really sarcastic here in the
you have no idea?
I'm taking second job, I'm sorry.
Feel bad. Don't feel bad.
It's fine. You're just adapting to the role.
No problem. Other than that, I think I've said my piece. Anybody else got any more to say?
I'll give my thoughts.
Go ahead.
Okay. This episode reminds me a lot of like that one SpongeBob episode, Band Geeks, except if Squidward didn't know anything about music and he didn't care.
Yes.
But that's not what Rainbow Dash is like. She should know a lot about cheering. She's energetic. It's like they took everything about her character and got it backwards, or got it seriously wrong.
Actually, who else of the main six could you put instead of Rainbow and like make it so it was more relatable? I guess Starlight, actually. Maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Well, she would definitely be out of her element. I mean, she wouldn't know anything about like cheering or anything, would she?
I don't know. I'm just trying to put our main characters in that I guess needs to learn this lesson more than Rainbow Dash. I don't know who else though.
Yeah, I don't know who would it. It seems like I don't know either. Rainbow would be the only one who would have to learn the lesson, really.
Yeah, they actually just horseshoe her in, pardon the pun, but she's just like being crammed in because it have to fit with that. That's not right.
Or they're just taking her because she was the coach for the actual players, and now she's the coach of the cheerers.
That could be it.
I could see that, yeah. But again, like when she knows people, like she knows ponies that are great at cheering. She knows who to ask and where to go. She even goes to her friends and gets the party cannon and all of the good stuff. And I was like, okay, she's starting to learn now. And when they got excited with the uniforms and stuff like that, I was just like, okay, now we see like you have learned a little bit and you're going to help them more. But no. Of course not. It's not going to be that easy.
Just a little thing that I thought would have been funny, but I wonder if this would fly. What would everybody think? He's like, man, I need to find some pony knows how to cheer, and then you bring in bulk biceps.
Yeah, yes, that could have been funny.
Hey, it could have worked. It could definitely have worked. You have one moment where like, I just got bulk biceps in there. Yeah. Or at one point after they're done cheering, Bulk comes out and is like, yeah! I wouldn't mind it. Joe, would that fly?
I'm sorry, Alex, for taking your time.
No, that's fine.
Sorry.
But seriously, this episode took all sorts of continuity and just throws it out the window. It got the wrong character to play the role that Rainbow Dash was in. Like the complete opposite of who I would expected to be there.
Who do you think should have been there?
I not Rainbow Dash. That's all I know. But
Yeah, that was why I was thinking about like.
probably Fluttershy, but she's She's in the team.
No, yeah, she would care. She would care too much about. Like she already has learned the lesson about like caring for our ponies.
Right.
Right.
And Rainbow Dash was the one that taught her.
Yeah.
Right. But I wonder who else could have like.
Like the
You
only.
bring up a good point. She may not have been the right person, the right pony for this, but who else could have done this?
Like the only
It
one.
would be
that,
oh, go ahead.
I was just like, again, I'm thinking about Starlight. For some odd reason, she's just popping up in my head.
That's exactly what I was about to mention. I was going to say it would be a completely different episode, but Starlight could possibly work for.
It could work, yeah.
The trouble with it is, if they got anyone else, they would be too irrelevant.
Yes. That's true, I guess.
Oh, I know who might have actually worked. This might have worked for.
Hmm.
But again, like all the people who could have worked for it, you would have to fundamentally change the episode. But what about like Spike? Like it's like
that's actually interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
it's like Twilight like
maybe.
hypes up Spike. It's like, okay, we're gonna do a very important job. You're gonna be coach of the team. It's like, yes. It's like, oh, you're gonna teach the cheer team. It's like, oh. And he's gets disinterested at first, but he tries his best. Like again, you change the flow of the episode, but like.
Right.
Like it would basically be him embracing his role, embracing the importance of like being the supportive character sort of thing. Again, it will completely change the episode because
it be kind of similar to Equestria games.
Yeah, that's
Oh
true.
my god. Oh my god. Yes.
But
Yes,
in that,
yes.
it was like he was more afraid to perform in front of a crowd, so that would kind of change it a little bit. But at the same time, he already learned that lesson.
It would kind of like put Spike in another spot. Like we always see him as like Twilight's helper. In this case, he's kind of an impromptu leader. In this case, that would change the dynamic a bit.
And actually, maybe he could have gone to Rainbow Dash to ask for help with the cheering.
And then you could insert the Fluttershy
Yes.
thing, the Fluttershy yay. Then you could do that callback.
And her parents and all of that good stuff with her explaining like, I don't know anything about cheering, but my parents cheered me on since I was smaller, and that helped me win stuff and blah de blah, all of that good stuff.
Right. That's a strong possibility. And also,
Yeah, we want that.
Spike, just add one more. It could have been, and with the right writer and everything, add one more good episode to the Spike roster. That's always good. That's a thought.
Yeah. The problem is, like, I'm thinking about if it could have worked with the CMC, but no, I don't think, like, no, that would have been.
I don't know, but I feel like the CMC have already done something like this.
Yeah, they had their Last Crusades and everything, but it was just like, thinking, yes, as Alex said, like, anybody else in Rainbow.
But Dash.
Yeah.
We've seen so many times before that Rainbow Dash has been the encouraging character.
Right.
And in this, she's the opposite. She doesn't care at all. How do you twist someone's character that badly?
I don't know.
Like the Rainbow Dash not caring part should have just been a quick, short joke in the beginning, not like 2/3 of the episode.
Right.
Yeah, agreed.
Like it would have been completely different if it started out with like, okay, I can see like you're not interested in this, but we still like you still have to do this for your friends, and letting them actually lose a game so Rainbow Dash could see how important the cheering was for
Oh yeah, that would have. No, I just want to laugh for everything. Yeah, that actually probably would have paid off more if they would have had two games. In the first game where they're not cheering, but in the second game where you get to see how the cheering really does improve the team.
That's it.
Yes,
because that's what I was trying to
tell. Show don't tell. Yes.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out what was bothering me with them losing in the end, because I don't mind. I don't hate that they lost because that wasn't important really to the story. However, I was like, figured it still bugged me, and I figured, yeah, they do a great cheer, and we're told like, oh yeah, the cheerleaders help hype up the team, which I mean, hype up the fans, just hype up the team, but we don't get that payoff. Like
Yeah,
it's sort of like it's like they did all this awesomeness, but it's like, oh yeah, it wasn't relevant. It's like, but yeah, it would have worked better.
See, you don't actually matter. God damn it.
Oh man,
Well, at least we tried.
surely it doesn't matter. That's sad. That's kind of sad, but making it like they do matter. It's the one thing that lends your concept, that it's the one thing that makes the concept work. You gotta make it work. Show them how they matter.
Maybe that's why Rainbow Dash didn't care in 2/3 of the episode.
Because she didn't know.
Matter.
Because she didn't see how it mattered. She just got told how it mattered, but that just went over her head. She should have been shown how it mattered.
Yes.
She should have been shown how it matters, and then she could be like, "Oh, I get it. This is important at all." But honestly, the part about her caring, that should have been done I think that now the part of her caring in the beginning, Twilight, I really think should have said that to her. I was like, I know you don't understand it, but listen, they're your students, and you care about them, right? And you care about them, right? And then Dash should be like, yeah, I do, but I don't understand this cheer thing. And I mean, and okay, here we go. Celestia should have had her own squad. Celestia should have had her own squad there. Here we go. The Celestia should have had her own squad out there. They cheer. The team gets pumped up and they play like really good. He's like, wow, they play better. Okay, I get it. I gotta get them into shape so they blah 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 so they can do this, they can win and all that fun stuff. Everything's awesome. Yeah, there we go.
Finished.
I got it. I'm done.
But this just brings up the sad fact about this episode is, like we discussed, like there's a lot of like potential setup for a really great episode from like dozens of different angles, and that's what makes this episode sort of sad because like it had it wasn't just like it was a boring, forgettable filler episode. Mm-hmm. It's just this episode generally could have been amazing, like in several different like avenues, different directions you take, like different characters involved, like the setup, but like it
fell flat.
Yeah. Like there was like, it honestly feels like the writer just didn't really care about this episode and was just trying to I have a deadline.
Yeah, well, like I think they had the same moral got lost.
They had the same attitude Dash had. Sheesh.
Yeah, that's a good point. But more or less, like, it's like the writer's like, okay, I need to get this episode out fast. Rainbow Dash was sort of a jerk before. Let's make her the main focus. And like, it's just like, this episode's like, it deserved better.
It did. I agree. Agreed. There's so much missed potential in this. There's
I think
a lot.
It's just because the writer was inexperienced.
Could be.
And
she hasn't written much for the show, so.
Well, maybe it was. Well, you never know. Like not everybody's first rodeo or whatever is always a successful one.
Well, I think that's the opposite. There's like she's written 2 other episodes, and one was worse. What was the other one?
Rock.
It was and Rock in the Hard Place.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like usually the writers like from season 1 all the way through. They can start off a little rough at their first season they're writing, but like usually the second season they really step up. Here she seems to be stepping down.
Yeah, and like I even have from the first episodes, like she gives up everything for her friends, and like the episode with Nightmare Moon with the shadow bolts, right? She gives up like the being part of the team and being part of that for her friends, but in this one, because it's something that she doesn't care about, she won't give in to like that for like ponies that she know. I don't believe that. Like that, it's not the same thing going on. Something's definitely off. Yeah.
Agreed.
The thing about this episode is that it brings up something that wasn't evident in Rainbow Dash's character in
Mm.
any other episode.
Well,
You don't
like
see her like not caring so much about something
No,
she doesn't
but-
like.
Right.
I think again it could have worked if we were like, okay, you sometimes have things that you don't agree with your friends and that you're not interested in, but you like you learn it faster when it's somebody that you care about.
True.
Yes.
Oh, and in general, like, yeah, Rainbow Dash doesn't care about things before and all that. She sort of pokes fun at
Yes.
things she doesn't like. However, she never just straight up was like, okay, here's her responsibility. Okay, let me just not give a buck about it. Like, that's
And
not
so-
Rainbow Dash. She would always, even if she's not
Yeah.
most excited about it, she would
Yeah.
at least put up some little bit of effort into, like, trying to do, like, responsibility she's been given. But
And I just got the perfect episode in my mind where she actually already have learned this, and it was with Rarity, where they tried to teach the young children about like how to be good friends.
Which one was that?
I don't remember what the episode was called, but it's Rainbow Dash and Rarity. They both get distracted with their things. Rarity draws, and Rainbow Dash does her athletic things. And like Twilight wants them to show the students
Have been friends.
how
Yeah,
they're
been
good
friends.
friends.
Oh, I think I
Yeah.
remember that one.
yeah, it's the
Oh
one-
yeah, now I
it was the
remember
one-
it.
it was the one
Yeah.
where they shouldn't be friends, like, and that was a conflict. Even though
Yeah.
it really
Yes.
shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
So Rainbow Dash already learned this from another episode with like
Right.
Rarity. But I guess it's something else when it's the young main six and some ponies that we don't know about. And they were going to see again. Oh, it's just so depressing. That's just wrong. Ah. Yeah, definitely not one of my favorite episodes, I must admit.
Yeah, we can definitely agree. Cheese sandwich wins this
Yes,
wins this
with,
one.
with a landslide.
Yes, and it's always fun. It's always fun seeing cheese
Yeah.
sandwich. It's always fun seeing him.
With a landslide, a little bit of cheese and a little bit of sugar. Ah!
It helps the medicine go down. And don't forget the tomato soup.
Ugh, that sounds like a horrible mixture now. Now it's like sugar, cheese, and tomato soup.
Well, tomatoes have like, built-in sugars in them, so
Oh, well, I'm not a big tomato soup fan, but
Oh my
whatever.
gosh, it's one of the best things in the well, okay, not by itself, no, but then, dip your grilled cheese sandwich in tomato soup,
Oh.
eat afterwards. Oh,
No,
yes.
no,
Yes.
no. I would prefer minestrone soup or meat soup.
Yeah, fair enough.
Beef soup.
All right.
I will say one last thing though about this episode. Ninja, I know you were saying how it should have been a season 8 episode. The thing that made me think differently was when it was Smolder teaching Rainbow Dash the lesson, and that wouldn't really work in season 8. It would
I
work
said
more in
I was
season
saying
9.
I was saying it would work better, not necessarily work too well, because like I said that earlier in the episode, and it just kept getting like digging itself a deeper grave. It's like
But I actually see what the ninja is saying, because like if it was Fluttershy instead of Smolder teaching Rainbow Dash the same stuff as Smolder is doing in this episode, it could have been earlier.
Yeah.
Just saying. And it would actually have been more impactful for it to be Fluttershy, as Jenn is pointing out all of the time with her yaying and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
Being like Fluttershy walking up to her, being like, you have forgotten that you have taught me how to cheer. You're a bad friend or something like that. I don't know.
Remember that shit you taught me back in season 1? What happened?
Yes.
Oh yeah, like I seem to remember. I still maintain she could have. It would have been like really just comic. He's like, I seem to remember a certain pony telling me how to cheer. I remember the one. What was that she told me? Oh yeah, louder.
Yes, that's true.
And bring it all home. She yells out louder.
Yes.
That would be like,
That
yes,
would have been
yes,
good.
yes, yes. Thank you, Fluttershy. And I'd be like, thank you, Fluttershy. Your character art is officially the best.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, reminded me of something else. Yeah, from like the BronyCon Family Feud thing, it was a final poll who won Best Pony, and Fluttershy won.
Yeah.
100 ponies interviewed. Fluttershy beat out Twilight.
Well,
Damn it.
Applejack was
No.
the only pony having a appreciation panel, so there.
Yeah, I mean, like, Fluttershy has been the
AJ
strongest
is still
contestant.
best pony. I
Who?
don't care what everybody's saying. I
Who?
don't like Fluttershy. Hello?
She's saying
Who?
Applejack. She's saying Applejack is best pony.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. Rarity is still my pony.
At least Twilight came in second, which is
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, like, Pinkie Pride conceptually should be my favorite, but, like, as a character standpoint, in the later seasons, Fluttershy has been dominating.
No, best pony is the new princess that we just got, right?
Lori Art.
Flurry Heart.
No, Trixie.
Princess.
Yeah, like they made fan art of her being like with wings and stuff like that.
Oh, good God.
Um,
No!
All right. With that said, any other final thoughts before we head off?
No.
If
No,
this
no,
if it was a marching band in the episode, I would be ripping mad.
Oh yeah.
A marching band?
Marching band.
Marching band is like my favorite thing in the world, and if they substituted marching band instead of a cheer squad, this would be my worst episode ever.
Oh.
Don't
Well,
worry, they're too late.
Didn't you get your cheer squad in the Starlight episode equal village, kind of, sorta? I don't know. Or maybe in the Smile. I don't know.
Yeah.
Meh.
You don't have to worry, Alex. Like they're too lazy to animate all the instruments.
Oh, the burn. What about Pinkie and all her instruments?
Yeah, remember Secret? Not Secret.
No.
Parasprite episode.
Yeah,
They can animate it for like a shot, but they won't do it for like an entire like 2/3 of an episode.
Just copy paste. Come on. And put in
one of
other
the
instruments.
It's like
Oh well, yeah. There we go. Going on a tangent.
Yeah. Oh well. But I think we said all we needed to say.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
And I must get to bed.
Yes,
All
go
right.
to bed, Jen. I'm
Yes, must
going
get to bed.
too.
Must get to bed. Gotta work in the morning.
Ooh.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.